Hello, 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 hello. Oh, hello. I know I'm so weird, right? Sometimes I amaze myself at how weird I am. I'm like, what? What's seriously going on in your head? Anyways, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting life. It is Sunday. So Sunday, where I'm going to sew today. Even though I keep saying I'm gotta stop making new projects, today we're going to make a new project because it's just what I do. Okay. I know my closet is like overflowing with quilts now, so much so that they're hanging on the outside. More quilts are hanging on the thing over there behind the camera. Like I really just need to, take like a month off and long arm quilt everything, but I can't do that. I got to make new things because, that's just what I do. All right, let's see who is all here, and then we'll get started on what today's project is. Today's project is going to be super beginner friendly, like so beginner friendly. You'll be able to do this. I'll tell you everything you need. Just give me a second.
Be able to do this.
You're going to be able to do this.
Do this. I like it.
Yep. All right, let's see. We've got Norma, Lillamore, Shirley, Karen, Leanne, Tracy, Donna, Geraldine, Susan, Mona, Peggy, another Karen, Joanna, Delia, Judy, and so much more. You guys, there's already 140 something of you here. Look at that, hanging out with me, and I haven't even told you what we're doing yet. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, all right, today is a panel quilt. Panel, as in a piece of fabric that has a picture on it, which I will hang up on the wall momentarily while I discuss what today's project is and what you need. Now, I may or may not be off on everything I have mathed up here on my paper because I literally did this like 20 minutes ago. The whole decision was pretty quick, but I've done this before, so I'm pretty sure this version will work out. All right, so you need one panel that's like 24 inches or smaller. Or 20, it's got to be bigger than 23.5 inches because technically that's what mine's going to be once I straighten it out. It's 24, but it's crooked, which is what all panels are. And I ironed the heck out of it. And guess what? It's still crooked. So a 24-inch panel that you for surely can get, 100% can get a 23.5-inch piece from. So if you get a 25-inch panel, that'll work too. Because some panels have borders around them and you don't want that. So, Anyways, then you need a half yard of sashing. My sashing is this pretty purple. Okay. And then you need 1/4 yard for border number 1, which is this pretty teal. Matches, right? Yep. And then for the border, we're going to need 2/3 of a yard, which is this lovely, I don't want to lose the panel, so we chose a subdued print for it. And if you can see, it all goes together. Everything goes together. Lovely like. All right, so that's what we need. And we're going to start with cutting the sashing. We don't need to cut the borders yet because whatever, but we're going to start by cutting the sashing first because we need our cutting mat nice and cleaned off so that we can straighten out and cut our panel. Because again, the math of this project I've done for you for a 23.5-inch panel. Exactly, after everything's been trimmed and whatever. The 23.5 by width of fabric, because we're going to chop the top and bottom off. But that's how this is going to work. But if you have a bigger panel and the eraser just fell off in my hand. How weird is that? Or my pencil. If you have a bigger panel, all you have to do is take that number of the initial size that you're cutting it down to and divide it by however many cuts you want to create your lovely sections, because all we're going to do is split this up, add sashing, and call it a day, right? Simple as that. So I have my little chart here. I wrote everything on, and I will say my directions out loud, and Karen will, as always, make a post in the Facebook group with all the directions at a later time. Oh, we're going to start by cutting our sashing. Obviously, we only need a half a yard, but I grab whatever's on my yardage. So I'm going to cut 10 1-inch strips from my lovely sashing fabric here, which will probably leave me, yep, it was 1 yard, so leave me with a half a yard more. Here we go, 10 1-inch strips from this. And then, where's the other number? 1 4-inch strip and 1 3-inch strip. Okay. So I'm going to cut this edge nice and straight first, and then we'll have a bunch of 1-inch strips, 1 4-inch strip and 1 3-inch strip. All right, nice and straight, Tiffany. Line that up, line that up. Away, uncut 10 1-inch strips. I probably could bring out my whatchamacallit cutter, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to cut 10 1-inch strips. This should not take forever. This is a pretty quick kind of way to make a quick quilt. This, I'm going to say, is a wall quilt because it's not going to be super huge, but it can be used as a little lap quilt or whatever too. The size that it'll come out, I mean, which is, I don't know, because I didn't do that part of the math. I only did the center. I was in a hurry.
When you wrap your fabrics on their boards, do you iron them first?
Yes, I iron my fabric before putting it on my boards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then do you fold and then iron it again?
I kind of iron it again on when I fold it, only to make it so that it's not poofy at the end. So I want it kind of crisp a little when it folds up, or else it takes up more room on the shelf, which I've learned. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tiffany's gone crooked again. I have a video on how I do that somewhere on my channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then a 3-inch strip and a 4-inch strip. 3-inch and a 4-inch strip. This is my sashing fabric that we are cutting. That leaves me with a half a yard for whatever later. Move that out of the way. All right. I'm going to slide all that out of the way now. Except for the 3-inch strip and the 4-inch strip. We're going to subcut this. 4-inch strip is the one that I grabbed first, so we're going to subcut our 4-inch strip into 4 4-inch squares. I'm going to just cut the selvage off and cut 4 4-inch squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 4-inch squares off the 4-inch strip. And then we need 2 2-inch by 4-inch. 2 2-inch. It's already 4-inch, so we're just cutting 2-inch. Yeah, no, only 2 of those. Sorry. 2 2-inch by 4-inch, leaving you with more scrap. All right, that's cut. Now the 3-inch one. We are going to cut 1, 2. Oh, yes, sadly, yes, it is correct. Jim Bennett did pass away last week. Yes. Very, very sad. Jim Bennett is gone. I am seeking a new moderator that can quickly grab links. So if you are interested in being a moderator for my channel and you know your way around finding links for things, like going through my videos and finding a specific video when I say it, let us know. Email us if you want to be a moderator. Or let us know in the chat, because Scott will see it right now. But we don't need more than one. We just need one person to, sadly, it's not even a job. You don't get paid for it. You just help moderate the chat, really. It just makes it easier for all of us. All right, from the 3-inch strip, we're cutting, where am I at? 4 5-inch by 3-inch. No, hold on. 4, where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 3-inch by 3-inch. Sorry. 4 3-inch by 3-inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 3-inch by 3-inch squares, and then 4 5-inch rectangles, but we're going to subcut them down. So we're going to cut 4 5-inch, 3, 4, but we're going to turn them into 2 3/4-inch by 5-inch. 2 3/4-inch by 5-inch. So 4 2 3/4-inch by 5-inch, but I got them from the 3-inch strip. I just subcut that extra 1/4-inch off. So a total of, from the 4-inch is 4 4-inch squares, 2 2-inch by 4-inch rectangles, 4 3-inch by 3-inch squares from the 3-inch strip, and 4 5-inch by 2 3/4-inch rectangles from the 3-inch, and then 10 1-inch strips, which those we don't need to subcut because we're just going to build it as you go kind of thing. All right, now for the panel, which we all need to make sure is nice and straight. Stay out of my way, chair. To make sure your panel is straight, press it first. And you're going to take your 2 selvage edges and you're going to line them up. And if you see right here, can you see how it's crooked? You know, if it was straight, it's kind of crooked. If both my ends were lined up, this is where you need to slide it to where when you're looking at it from above, it creates a flat thing. You can see when it's crooked, like that, and you can see when it's flat. You need to shake it out till it's flat and adjust it. Just use your fingers. You have 2 fingers on the back piece, and then your thumb and first finger on the first one, lining that up. I have a video on how to straighten your fabric, and that's how we do that. So we're going to straighten it. Mine is off. That's why I'm going to get 23 1/2 inches from mine. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I am going to grab a large ruler, and I'm going to cut my panel now nice and straight. Make sure and see, I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to do it right here on this side. Just going to line it up, making sure everything's flat and straight because I don't want to lose my 23 1/2 inches that I'm going to be able to get. So I got one side lined up. Go ahead and cut that. Get off of there. You know, I flipped the mat. It's like brand new, but yet it's still skipping. Needs a new blade, I guess, now. I'm going to line that up now exactly on my 0 on my cutting mat. This is why I say keep your cutting mat clear. We're going to line that up on the 0 on the cutting mat, and I'm going to come over here to 23 1/2 and make my cut. All right, so now I have a fully whatever trimmed panel. My first cut on the panel is, we're going to make it at, sorry, I have to change the number on here. Just because I didn't do that before the live stream. And I already knew what it was. All right, the first cut is 2 3/4 inch from the edge. 2 3/4 inch. So 1, 2 3/4. Oh, the panel is called Sprint by Chung Wong for Timeless Treasures. It's panel number CD7134. Spirit. Oh, that's what it is, not Sprint. Spirit. Sorry, I'm reading upside down. All right, on the panel. Now this is 23 inches. We're going to cut 2 3/4 inch. Just leave it right there. Then we're going to come over to 6 3/4 inch. 6 3/4. and 3/4. I'm going to line all this up. Yep, that's the name. So 6 3/4. So the first was 2 3/4. The second is 6 3/4. The next number is 9 3/4. 9 3/4. Everything's straight. And then we're going to skip over to 13 3/4. 13 3/4 right there. Right there. 13 3/4. And then we're going to go to 16 3/4. You guys see a thing here going on? Everything's in the 3/4 because we made it a half. All right, so 16 3/4. And then the next cut is 20 3/4. And then that's the last and final cut. And you should end with, your last piece should be 2 3/4. So if I put my thing on here, my other ruler, it's 2 3/4 of an inch. Exact. So again, your panel, you cut it to 23 inches. Okay, and then your first cut from your, normal cutting size, and this is the same numbers if you go the opposite way because you're the opposite handed. 2 3/4, 6 3/4 over, 9 3/4, 13 3/4, 16 3/4, 20 3/4, and then you should have 2 3/4 left. So that'll give you 2 3/4 on each, a 4-inch piece, next a 3-inch piece next to that, and a 4-inch center. That's what it should be. Check that out. I did something right this time. All right. Now what I'm going to do is the ends of every single one of these, I'm going to cut the selvage off, which I probably should have done when everything was lined up. That's okay. I'll just reline it up and cut it all off at once. Doesn't take too long to straighten it back up. Right there. Nice and perfect. Everything looks like I never cut anything up. We're just going to cut the selvage off. Not with a pencil, with a rotary cutter. It's got a big selvage on it. That's why yep. All right, I dropped some on the floor because, well, that's just what happens in my world. Now I got to find which way this panel went. Was it that way or that way? It was this way. Okay. This is why you don't move your panel. Make sure that it's good because if you start moving it, then you're going to get it out of order. You don't want that. There we go. That should be good. All right, here's the next part. I'm leaving everything on my desk. From the 2 3/4 inch pieces, I'm just going to pull those because one goes on each end. We're going to take 5 inches off both ends. So I still have it folded in half, okay? So I'm going to take 5 inches off of both of these. I'm going to line that up, cut 5 inches off of this one, line this up, cut 5 inches off of this one. So both ends had 5 inches cut off of it. Go ahead now. This one was on this end. I'm going to just place it on the wall. And this is the far end. Just going to place it on the wall. It's probably wider than it needs to be. You know those 2 3/4 by 5 inch pieces? We're going to attach those here and there, here, and here. Okay. Now, toss those aside. You can use them in your scrap bins or whatever. Now for the next 2 pieces, which are the next outer pieces in, they should be 3 inch. No, 4 inch. These ones should be the 4 inch ones. I'm going to take those 2 out, and I'm going to cut off 4 inches off of each end. 4 inches off of each end. 4 inches. I have it folded in half, so I'm getting both cuts at the same exact time. And 4 inches. All right, so I'm just take these 2 pieces now. Open them up. Place them on the wall. Here. And right there.
It's such a cool color.
Okay. Oops. I'm trying to save it to where my strips fit in between them. And then you're going to take your 4-inch squares that you cut from your 4-inch strip. You're going to place them on the top and bottom, on the top and the bottom. Ta-da! Set those 2 pieces aside because I don't need them. They're just going to go in my 4-inch bin. Now for the next 2 outer pieces, I'm just going to leave them right here because I have a center right here as well. My 3-inch strips that are on the outer side of the center, we're going to cut 3 inches off of them. So now we're at 3 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 inches off of that, and then off of this outer one, put this one right here. And on each top and bottom, it'll get a 3-inch square. 3-inch square. And this one right here will get 3-inch squares also. Square. 3-inch square. And then my center, we're going to cut 2 inches off of it. So I'm just going to turn it, cut 2 inches off of it from the top and the bottom. I have it in half, so I'm getting top and bottom. I'm going to lay this right here and put our 2-inch on each side. There and right there. And you know those 10 strips? If I can open them up. What is wrong with my fingers today? They are going to go in between. This is why we didn't cut those to size, because I didn't do the math yet on the full size of all these strips. They're going to be like 42 inches or so, 41, something like that.
They are really cool.
So they'll go like this. Hoping I laid this out enough to where every single one of these will have one fit in it. And then we'll assemble it. And this is why I said don't cut your borders yet, because, you know, you never know. Your panel could have, with the fabric, could have been, you know, because you washed it, could have been even smaller, you know. Everybody's with the fabric is going to be different. But math-wise, you can make these on your own. You take the size of your panel and you divide it by however many slices you want. So this one has 7 cuts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cuts. This one has 6 cuts. You divide that number by 6. And then that's what you get. But I changed the numbers on all of mine. So one will go here. You guys have seen this a lot of times. This happened. A lot of people have done this type of panel. This is just me throwing one together. One will go there. And then the last 2 will be the top and the bottom. That. And, oh. Whoa, reflexes. I caught that. Hop along thumper came in. Now we'll go up here. We'll show Thumper when he finally settles, because we're not picking him up. We pick him up to put him on things, but I don't want to hurt his legs by just constantly holding him. I'll wait for him to lay down or whatever he's going to do. All right, so now it's time to sew. It's really simple. You can do this. It's beginner friendly, super beginner friendly. Read one more time. 23.5 inch of a panel. You cut it to 23.5 inch. 2 3/4, 6 3/4 to 9 3/4, and then you're going to cut at 13 3/4, 16 3/4, and 20 3/4, and then your last piece should be 2 3/4 of an inch. Then you cut off of the 2 3/4 ones a 5-inch piece, and you're replacing it with a background of a 5-inch or sash of a 5-inch by 2 3/4 inch. Then your 4-inch strip should be replaced by a 4-inch by 4-inch square. So you're cutting 4 inches off of your second strip, 3 inches off of your third strip, top and bottom, with a 3-inch square on the top and bottom, 2 inches off your center by 4 inches, because that's a 4-inch cut. And you get a 2-inch by 4-inch piece for the top and bottom. 3 inches your next one, so you cut 3 off the top and bottom, and then you add your sashing, 3-inch square on each end. Then your next one is a 4-inch, so you cut off 4 inches off that, and you put a 4-inch sashing piece in on both ends. And then your last one is 2 3/4, and you have a 5-inch by 2 3/4 inch piece. Simple as that. So I'm going to go ahead now and attach all these end pieces, and then we'll do the sashing and so on and so forth. So it shouldn't take too long, but long enough to keep you guys occupied at how mesmerizing this will be, because I love these colors. And I'm sure you guys do too. Oh, let's make sure this is a good stitch length, because I was piecing other stuff. And while I'm sewing this first piece, Scott's going to move the camera to show Thumper.
You're being a good boy. Right at Daddy's feet.
He's just lying there, being good. Thumper, say hi. Top, this bottom. I'm going to press everything towards the sashing pieces that I'm adding, because nothing is going to be touching anyway. So those are on. I'm just going to grab the next one. Put the bottom on first. With a 1/4 inch seam. Finger press that, and then without flipping everything all funky like, I'm going to grab the next one and put its 4-inch square on it. Again, finger pressing for now towards the piece that we added. And they should be exactly the same size again, because we cut off and then put back that same amount minus a 1/2 inch. I mean, minus an inch in total, in height. All right, so we're going to do this one next. And I'm not sitting today because we went to a wedding yesterday, and I sat and stand the whole time. So my tailbone is so aggravated from yesterday that I don't want to sit today.
And you got sick since you went out in public.
And, well, I was sick from going out in public in the first place. I think I just got a little sicker from going out in public.
But you had fun.
But I had fun, for sure.
Somebody got to see our little neighbor girl.
Yep, I've known the little neighbor girl for years, and she's married now. All right, next. Next. Notice I'm fitting a theme today. I'm working with the color purple while I'm wearing purple.
You same thing for making forest or animal panels?
You can do the same thing on forest and animal panels too. You can do this on anything you want. Any panel you would like. You can do this on even small panels. You can do it on bigger panels. Just do the math to, for your numbers, divide it by however many times. So I divided mine by 6 to see how many, 6 cuts would be. And it got a general roundabout number. And then I just did the math for the in-between. So that way I knew I wanted this one at 3 inches, this one at 4 inches. But my general number was 3 3/4 inches to get a bunch of cuts. And I didn't want that many cuts. I wanted it to be kind of subtle. I didn't want it to be too many separations for this smaller panel, because it wasn't a very big panel. That's why I'm giving you the numbers for a 24-inch panel that we're going to, you'll trim down. All right, one more to do this. Can you turn the iron on now?
Yes.
Please and thank you. Yeah, I wanted mine to have varying widths. Okay, for now I'm just going to put them on the wall, and then as soon as that iron is hot, I'll take them down one at a time because I don't want to lose what's the top and what's the bottom, because you notice that same darker color is in some parts of it. So I don't want to get them flipped upside down. So wait for that iron to be hot. And I have like 500 projects going on in this room at one time. Breakfast at Tiffany's project is still sitting on the floor over there. I got to take my quilts to the quilt show this weekend coming up. So if you are in the local Lake Havasu City area or tri-state area, Southern California, or anything like that, our quilt show is the 5th, 6th, and 7th. The 5th, it's from noon to 4 p.m., but the 6th and 7th, it's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I will be there all 3 days. I have 3 quilts in the show. So if you want to meet me or see any of the quilts or anything like that for the locals, there's lots of hotels in the area.
What about meeting me?
Oh, and you can meet Scott because he'll be there too.
I'll be there too.
He's like, what about me? Please. But yeah, so that'll be that. But there's lots of hotels in the local area. There is a post on the post page here on YouTube and then on Facebook as well. There is a post, I think. Is it in the group? Did I put it in the group?
I don't know.
It's on my main page, my Facebook page. I know that for a fact. All right, so I'm going to press these one at a time real quick, nice and flat. And then I'll place them back on the wall where I found them. That way I don't get anything out of order. Right there. Go on the wall. Thank you. And my design wall, all it is a piece of batting hung on the wall. For those that are curious and you've not been to my channel before. It's been on the wall for years. This piece of batting still sticks everything to it. If I threw myself up on the wall, it would probably hold, but I weigh just a little too much. Yeah, it's really good at grabbing even finished quilts, surprisingly. All right, next. hi to who? Hi, Vicky Cullum. Welcome. Glad you could make it. All right, that's the last one. So now we need to sew the rows together with the sashing pieces. I'm going to start with the inner sashing piece to each one of these all the way to the end, and then this will be my last one. So I'm going to put this on here. The selvage is just going to hang over. Actually, I'll just cut it off now. My starting selvage. The bottom I'll trim to size, but my starting piece, I'll just cut the selvage off. Put it right sides together. I am not going to pull, tug, or anything. I'm just going to run this through the machine. Very nicely. No pulling, no tugging, so that nothing gets stretched out of whack. Panels are already out of whack in the first place, so you don't want to make it worse by adding more to it. And your sashing piece will hang over because I didn't measure that final size. Everybody's width of fabric is going to be different on your panel, so I didn't want to have to cut too much off. We wanted to, less waste is better. So to me, having the excess hang off at the end is less waste for me. All right, I'm going to press this towards the sashing. And then I'll put it back on the wall and do the next one. I never do anything like complete exact. There is no rule that says you have to do things a certain way. This is everything I show you, teach you, and stuff. This is you being creative. You're just following along with some instruction from me, And I think that, for me, I think it works out really good. Go ahead, cut the selvage off, place it on here, and sew it. No pulling, no tugging. Just let it flow through my fingers as I sew it. All right, and then I'm going to press it towards the sashing. Very carefully. I'm not bowing anything. I'm laying everything nice and flat and just rolling it back towards the sashing. It's really, really easy to do. All right, lace this right next to it. Oh, Connecting Threads is having a winter clearance event, 50% off of items. Up to 50% off of items. I probably should start checking those things,
I only know because I typed it in and clicked on it.
Yeah. So if you're interested in buying stuff, I have links that you can use that end up in the chat or on my main page. Those are my affiliate accounts. I make, a penny off of your sales, which helps out. Feels like it's yanking on my pajama pants. Pressing towards sashing. Thank you, Joyce. Very, very kind of you. This purple was like the perfect color to go in between I'm loving it. For those that are new, yes, I can continuously sew. I taught myself how to do that. I have quite a few videos where I actually show you how I'm doing it too. It's just the way I run it through my fingers. I can do that with about up to 5-inch borders. The continuous sewing thing. Anything bigger is kind of a little bit harder to do. Next one. Stay out of the way, scissors. Starting to look really awesome. He probably says, I'm done, people, leave me alone. Yeah, Thumper's starting to fall now, like when he goes up onto his hind legs and tries to put his front paws up onto something, he ends up falling, and then jumping, he super hesitates, so he's been staying on low stuff like his bean bags. And then like at night when Scott and I watch movies in bed, because I have my bed is like a recliner pretty much. We'll lay in there, he'll come up and he'll meow at Scott on the side of the bed so that he'll pick him up and put him up onto the bed. And then when he's done for the night, I'll pick him up and put him down, or Scott will take him with him. So that way he's not jumping off of anything. Trying to keep it as easy for him to access stuff as possible since he's falling already. Once the arthritis hits, it hit him pretty bad. I know how my cat feels, though, because I have arthritis. I don't fall as often as he's falling, but we all have issues with it over time. All right, last one for this part. And we can hook them all together, add that end piece. I love it too. I like that I went with big, small, instead of tapering in smaller, 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 smaller. You know, I like that I alternated the size. What 20 minutes of designing could, you know, look like. That's what this is. Just 20 minutes. All right, so that's on there. I'm going to go ahead and attach this farther piece now on the other side of that. And then we'll start hooking them all together. And I'm going to put it on the bottom because that way I can remember that this is the top. A lot of people say only sew with the big piece on the bottom, and the small piece on the top. But if you line it up, it really doesn't matter which one's on the bottom or which one's on the top. As long as those edge matches up. Then everything should work right out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like 24 inches or 24 and a half inches, I think, once all this is on. Something like that, once it's all together. Because we're only, you know, adding 1-inch strips, which doesn't actually do anything because it takes up your 1/4-inch seam. So it'll be almost the size that the panel was to start with. I have no idea. All right, so now I'm going to hook them together. Since this is the top point every time, I don't have to worry about what's going on at the bottom because I'm going to line the top up as I sew them together. So I'm not even worried about the bottoms. I'm just worried about the top lining up. And then everything should land where it's supposed to land. And then I'm just going to press towards the sashing every time I press each of these pieces. And eventually I'm going to run out of bobbin here. But it wasn't a full bobbin. So I'm going to go ahead and take this over there and press it towards the sashing. Yeah, if you want to. All right, we're going to start an auction. Who's going to put it on the opposite side of what I'm building right now? So all auctions start off $15. So this will start off at 15 once he's over here for you to see it. Should I move all this over a little bit more?
You just keep doing your thing. I'll do mine.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going to add the next piece.
You do have to move your chair so I can get here. It wasn't even on the thing.
The watermelon table runner is 20 by 47. And I just ran over my piece with the chair. I know I'm kind of blocking it now because it's in front of the sewing machine side. Huh?
How much you did for your anniversary?
For our anniversary, what did we do? I forgot already.
We worked.
We worked.
You got Panda the next day.
I got Panda the next day. Yep, that's right. I had to finish long arm quilting a king size client quilt. That's what I did. I long arm quilted, and then What else did I do? That's it, I think.
Where's the thumbs up at?
Where's the thumbs up? It should be directly below the video on a phone. If it's not there, then I have no idea.
You have a round table runner?
Do I have a round table runner? No.
Video?
A round table runner video?
Yeah, a round table.
I have a,
Table runner for a round table. Video.
it's one of the open gate ones, I think. All right.
Yeah, you've done one before. I know you have.
I have 3 together, and now I'm going to hook more, not onto this one. I'm just going to put these next 2 together. That way I have smaller sections. He'll bring the table runner closer, the camera close to the table runner for you to see in a minute. Yeah, I did an octagon one. Right, the next 2, I'll hook them all together. How did I decide which width to cut the pieces? I just decided when I divided it, the number by however many cuts I want. So this panel wasn't very wide, so I figured 6 segments would be good, or 7 segments, which is 6 cuts, would be good. And I knew I didn't want to separate the center. I wanted to make sure that the center was still in one piece instead of split into 2. So that's pretty much how I did it. And then I took those numbers after I knew I could do 7 segments and 6 things, then I knew I could do the math off of that. That's how I decided. He's going to bring the table runner up close.
Want to see the quilting and the back. The back you can see the quilting really good.
Yeah, the back you can see the quilting. It's a little spring quilt table runner. What was it, 20 by 47?
Yes.
And the watermelons were done using a curved ruler that I have. All right, so now I'm going to hook the 4 together and then hook those to the 3. And it has a tag on it. So you know I made it. That was made off camera, by the way. That was just me goofing off, is really what it was. I have no idea what is wrong with this machine right now.
So we're at $27.
We're at 27 so far. I veered right there. That's not going to lay flat. All right. Right, now I'm going to hook this side to this side. And then all we'll have to do is trim the top and the bottom nice and straight, even though the top is pretty straight already.
30. We're at 30.
It's at 30. Auctions, if you are new here, auctions support my channel and things that I do because YouTube does not pay all the bills.
No, last month they didn't barely cover anything.
Yeah, last month didn't cover anything. It's a good thing I had pre-bought my airline tickets months and months ago because I wouldn't have been able to do anything last minute. Oh, we're out. I knew it would eventually run out. But they help support my channel and all the little things. That's why we have auctions and de-stashes. Every little bit counts. Where was it? Alrighty. Go ahead and press this, and then we'll trim it. Everything's nice and flat. So I'm going to put this up here so you can see. The top edge is pretty straight. I just need to trim these outer bits a bit. The only thing I need to trim fully is this bottom. And it's pretty straight except for the pieces that hang out. So there's not really much getting trimmed off. Everything should still stay relatively the right size. Where's my long one? Just want to make sure that it's more accurate when we attach the borders to it. You can see I barely cut anything off. And then this side, it will have the ends taken off. And it'll be a little tiny funky right here. Right there at the bottom. Straight, straight. All that straight. Yep, 24 inches, like I said it was going to be. Yep. So right now it's 24 inches. So what I'm going to do is, I think that was the top. Was this the top? I don't even know which way the flower was going, honestly. I'm going to go ahead and cut these two pieces down to 24 inches. Because I already know that it's 24 inches wide now. Make sure one more time before I start cutting things. Oops. side. That's the centimeter side. Yep, 24 inches. All right. Cut the ends straight. Everything's lined up. And cut it at 24 inches. Leaving that much left over. All right. Let's attach one to the top, one to the bottom, and then we'll work on borders. Go ahead and lay it on here. Try to keep these seams from flipping as I do this, because that tends to happen a lot in my world. Ends perfectly match up. This is kind of just sealing it off, even though it seems like it. I just want to add that extra bit right here, you know, on the top and bottom. That way all these are closed off before I add a border, you know. Just a little bit more is all it needed. And when I press it, I'm just going to press it towards that piece that I added. And I end up. Get it nice and straight. All right, I'm going to press it, and then we'll cut some border fabrics. Like I said, this can be a wall hanging, or it could be just like something you throw on your legs on the couch or something. It's not going to be very big. All right, I'm going to put this on the wall for now. Okay, and we're going to grab the first border, and I gave you 1/4 of a yard for that, which is the 9 inches, because we're going to cut 2-inch strips, but honestly, 2.5 might even be better on the sides. I don't know why. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be, I don't know, if you want to do 2.5 then inches all the way around, then grab a 1/2 yard instead. I was going to do 2 inch and then 4 inch. But I think I'm going to do 2.5 inch is what I'm going to do. Just going to open that up and cut 4 2.5 inch strips. Let's grab this thing out. And this green color is the same as the purple fabric. It's ice looking. It looks like ice. Maybe I can go less on the top and bottom. You know, I like to change my mind so many times. No, I'll just do 2.5 all the way around. Oops. I didn't even pay attention to that. Lined up. No, that's lined up. Okay, 2.5. I'm going to cut 4 2.5 inch pieces. 2, 3, and 4. So that's 10 inches of fabric. So it's slightly bigger than 1/4 of a yard for me. But my original idea was 2 inches. cut the selvage off of all of them at the same exact time. And I didn't cut very good because I have a little bit of bowing. That's okay. Guess what? I don't care. Not at this moment.
What size stripology ruler do you have?
The stripology ruler that I have is 20 inches of cuts, 20 inches of cuts by 14 inches, you know, up and down. All right, the sides are going to be, we're just doing an exact thing here. I have it really flat on the wall. Should be like 44, 42 and a half. That's what it is. Let's measure all three spots, 42 and a half and 42 and a half. So we're going to make sure that these are 42 and a half. Oh, that's not going to work. It's folded in half. 29. 42 and a quarter. Quarter is half. All right, that's 42 and a half there. I really didn't have to cut nothing off of that. Same with this one. There. They're going to be exact.
I'm at 45.
The auction is at 45 at the moment. All right, so I'm going to put one of these on each side. I'm going to sit down now for this. Yeah, or I go to the doctor tomorrow. I am like hoping that they can get me in for my shot before I leave for Virginia and North Carolina. That way, because I'm going to be sitting in, what's the word for it? Scooter the whole time. Lots of sitting. So I'm going to go from an airplane to a car to a scooter, back to a car, back to an airplane. So there's going to be a lot of sitting involved. And if my tailbone isn't good, then I'm going to be suffering. And Becca's going to be like, go lay down, Tiffany. She's going to do that the whole time. Go lay down. Go lay down. I'm like, I'm going to tough through it. So I'm hoping they can get me in because, if y'all had tailbone pain, then you know what I'm talking about.
Stripology easy to use.
The stripology easy to use, yes. Of course, mine, the current one that I have, they don't sell anymore. I've looked everywhere online. I cannot find that exact one anywhere.
You got yours from a lady in town, right?
Yeah.
Who's moving?
Yep, I bought it from somebody that moved away. From a moving sale. That was years ago. All right, I'm just going to throw the other side on before I even go to the iron to press anything. And all this, I'm just going to press towards the borders because when you start adding borders, it's easier to just press towards them. Unless it was like a white border. But I'm not using the color white, so. Oh, this looks so cute. my top and bottom is going to get measured and then I'll add them. What are we at? 28 1/4. 28 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my next two pieces at 28 1/4. So I'm just going to open them up. Lay them on top of each other and cut them both at the same exact time. Smooth them out. Eight 1/4. And then that's scrap. I like a project that has less scrap. All right, now let's attach these. And that 28 1/4 is from a 2.5 inch first border because I changed it. I was going to do 2 inch and I gave you a 1/4 of a yard, but technically just get a half a yard. And then, or what's the next one after 1/4? 2. A third of a yard. There you go. That's better. Instead of a fourth yard, do a third. 1/3. Yeah.
You got 1/4. You got 1/3.
Yep. Where's my pencil? So I can write.
You got 1/2. You got 2/3.
1/3 yard.
3/4.
There we go. 1/3 yard, which is the 12 inches for your first border. Makes more sense that way.
Are you ready to call this watermelon? I don't think it's.
What is it at?
45, Margaret.
45 on the watermelon. Table runner to Margaret going once. 45 to Margaret going twice. Sold to Margaret. Margaret, send Scott an email at tiffany'squiltinglife@yahoo.com and your address and how you want to pay, Zelle, Venmo, or PayPal. PayPal does have a fee though. And that will be one meal for me at QuiltCon. 1 day's worth of food, I mean. You know what I mean? I don't need $45 in one meal. No, it'll be the whole day's worth of food for me. Which would be good.
I can eat that much in one meal.
Three more days worth of food to get. All right, I'm gonna press this. All right, I'm just gonna place it right here. And I'm gonna cut, what did I say I gave them out for? I wanted to do 4 inch. I need 3, 4. I need 5 strips, I think, for this. What did I give? 2/3 of a yard? Yeah, I think that was enough for 5 4-inch strips. Where's the end of that? Right here. on a line. Make this easy on myself. I gave you 2/3 of a yard for the second border. It should be plenty enough to even do, I think, 4.5-inch strips. That crosses a line, that crosses a line. Let's put this 0 right there on a line. Up, perfect. Perfect, nice and straight. All right, I'm gonna do 4-inch. I don't really think it needs to be bigger than that. 4, 8, that's 12, 16, and 20. There we go. 5 4-inch strips. And I'm going to hook them all together and just attach the way I always attach borders, because I'm not 100% on where it's going to land. So, and I don't like seams landing exactly at the edge either, so I'm going to start it off set a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just sew them all together like I normally would, and then hang off the first about a few inches. That way no seam lands at the edge, because that really messes with my head. I don't know why it does, but it does. All right, let's cut these selvages off. Yep, I just cut through all 10 layers. All right, I'm going to sew them together. They're on top of each other. I'm going to pull that bottom one out, move it out of the way, and then the next 2 should be right sides together. Sew those, then the next 2 right sides together. This is how I do borders. Find it easy for me. Next 2 together. Next 2. And then there should be 1 left over. 1 end. And then you'll have 1 continuously long border to work with. I'm not even going to bother pressing at the moment. I'm just going to throw it to the side of me, grab the quilt, grab my scissors. I'm going to hang this over about right there. So that's like 10 or so inches. And I'm going to cut it. That way my seam down there will not land at the edge, because I don't like that. All right, here we go. All right, once it's on the table, I cut it to size. You could measure yours and do that way, measure and then cut all your pieces to the size it needs to be, but I never do that. And, you know, I don't ever have problems, so. All right, there's one side on. This side should not land at a seam, so I'm just going to go straight for it. Usually I would go all the way to the other side, but it should land nicely. it's on the table, I will cut it to size. I didn't pull or tug on anything, so I shouldn't have gotten anything out of whack. I didn't stretch on the fabric or nothing. I know a lot of people say don't do this, but for the past 7 of the 10 years, this is how I've done it. All right, I'm gonna throw that on the floor. I'm gonna press these towards the border. Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
About your motorcycle you used to ride.
Oh yeah, I had a Honda CBR F600. No, CBR.
Yes, you had
Yeah.
a CBR, a Honda CBR.
600. I'm thinking F because I'm looking at a sewing machine. I traded up for sewing machines. I had a CBR 600. And I loved it. It was lowered so that I could ride it. It's a crotch rocket, not like any kind of Harley looking thing. It was a crotch rocket. That's what I used to ride, and I used to go very fast. Very, very fast. I couldn't hold the fast like on the highway if I was to go like, like 160. I can't hold 160 for long periods because I was little and my bike was big, and with the helmet on, it knocks my head back and forth because on a crotch rocket you gotta lean forward, and my head would bob, so my bike would kind of not stay sturdy enough for my brain to say I'm safe. But I'd go fast really 1 or 2 times, and then speed limit the rest of the time. And I was out plenty of times where my friends that were with me would get pulled over, and they would stay behind just because they knew I liked to go fast. And who's that girl on the bike? I'm not gonna tell you. She's gone now. You ain't gonna find her. It's kind of funny.
Tell me you're the one that taught me how to
Yeah,
ride.
I'm the one that even taught Scott how to ride, because Scott did not have a motorcycle when I met him, and I bought him one because he deserved a motorcycle, and he got the one from the movie Top Gun.
Yeah, I got Mavericks.
He's got Maverick's motorcycle from Top Gun. That's what he had.
Long ago.
Long ago. It's the Ninja 750, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kawasaki Ninja 750. That's what he had. And it was weird teaching a guy how to ride a motorcycle versus teaching a girl. Because not very many girls rode the kind that I ride. At least not around here. But I had an awesome pink helmet with butterflies all over it. I do miss riding, but I like sewing better now. Although I could probably
Your
still.
tailbone wouldn't handle it. That's
My tailbone
started.
wouldn't even. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to ride a motorcycle anymore. Plus my hips, I wouldn't. I stopped because my hands shake, my arms shake, my legs shake, and I couldn't hold my bike up anymore. So that was the only reason why I stopped anyway. On that side, which has that much hangover, and this side has this much. All right. So this side on.
Is quilting more expensive than motorcycling? Say yeah, probably.
Yeah, quilting is 100 times more expensive. I could have bought just each machine. My initial motorcycle was the cost of this machine. This machine sells right now for $1,300. I could have bought my first motorcycle for $1,300 because that's what I did. I went through 4 motorcycles. Well, I had dirt bikes too, but motorcycles, crotch rockets, I went through 4 of them. My first one was too tall, and there was no way to get a lowering kit for it, and it was a Ninja 650. My second one was also a Ninja 650. It was low enough for me, but there was no lowering kit on it, and that was the one I crashed. And so the person I was with at the time, he bought me like a roll cage thing that goes on it because I was still new to crotch rockets, you know, and then that one got crashed and everything got ruined on it. And then I got another one, a blue bike that I had for, shoot, I had it for 2 years. And then that one, I dumped it on its side in rock and it like totally ruined the whole side of it. So I just got another bike, which was my white bike that I had in the end. I would find you guys a picture of me on my bike, but that would probably take forever to find it. Yeah, I had that one the longest, and I sold it on New Year's Day. How many years ago now? Like 7 years ago or 8 years ago? My original initial videos on YouTube, you can see my motorcycle in the background. If some of them are still up, the ones that are at least still up. Because I had the design wall behind the motorcycle, and that's what I would stare at, is a quilt and a motorcycle. Because I was in the garage. Alrighty. I probably didn't need all those strips, but, you know, probably only needed 4, but I cut off that initial amount so that way I can go all the way around this nicely without having a seam land in the edge. Yeah, this probably is more of a wall hanging than a lap, but it would fit on a lap, I guess. All right. All done. Which way does it go? Does it go this way? Yeah. It kind of doesn't really matter, honestly. The flower kind of faces up. Smooth it out. Get a final measurement. And in less than an hour and a half, you can make this exact quilt. As fast as I did. They go really quick, these kind of quilts. There it is right in front of me. So the final comes out at 35 by 53 and a half. 35 by 53 and a half. And I made sure we changed that to 1/3 yard for 2.5-inch strips. And then the last one is 4-inch strips. But you can make your borders whatever size you want your borders to be. I love it. So pretty. Doesn't it look so cool? And it's even got butterflies on it.
Looks amazing.
There's butterflies all around.
It looks amazing.
Maybe it does go the other way. Because the butterflies look like they're all facing this direction. I don't know. Honestly, it really doesn't matter, but... There we go. Look at that, though. Pretty cool. Any questions or anything?
That I know of. We did the panel, improved it 100-fold. One of the comments.
It improved the panel, yes.
100-fold.
It did. It did. It did. It did. That it did. I'm looking for something real quick.
Okay, why don't you tell them what else is going on this week?
All right,
Get
next
any of
weekend I know is a Super Bowl weekend, but unfortunately I need to do a D-stash. So whether you can come on while I'm live or not. The de-stash video will be there, and you can still go in after the fact. You know, we're doing a de-stash for money towards my QuiltCon, and because I'm working all weekend. This weekend is the quilt show, and on Sunday I'm going to be so pooped I won't want to sew. I won't want to do anything. I never do after quilt shows. I just like to sit around and do nothing. So instead, we'll just do the de-stash, which also helps with QuiltCon, and there's no purchase necessary, but you know it helps with QuiltCon for what does sell, and then it also helps me not be even more overwhelmed in doing stuff in here. You know. But that's what we're going to be doing next Sunday. Just so that you guys can see, this is my bike that we were talking about. This was my favorite bike.
Oh, I could have showed him a picture. I had that.
With my pink helmet. So that's what I used to ride. And then in the dark, it glowed blue. That's the front of it. And then, yeah, that's it. That was one of the bikes, at least. So that's what I used to ride. Oh, and then dirt bikes. There's me on a dirt bike. Don't mind the finger. That's years and years and years and years ago. That's the stuff I liked to do, was dirt bikes and motorcycles. Same thing. They're all motorcycles. But that's what I loved. Now I love quilting. And I'm glad that I switched to it because it's less accident prone. Less chances of having an accident. Although I have sewn through my fingers. So, I mean, but I've sewn through my fingers less than I've dropped my bikes, my original bikes, because, you know, they were heavy and I wasn't used to it. Dirt bikes were different because they weren't as heavy. All right. Well, reminders, this weekend is the quilt show, the 5th, 6th, and 7th here in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. So if you are anywhere, Phoenix area, Vegas area, Southern California, you know, even as far as San Diego, it's only like 4.5 hours from San Diego, right? Yeah, it's not that bad. And we have hotels in the area. You know, so I mean, if you want to come in, you know, you don't have to stay all the days either. You can come in one day, meet me if you want to meet me, or see all the quilts at the show or whatever, and see what it's like here. I mean, it's nice here. So if you want to get away from your colder weather, it's probably going to be like 81 degrees.
Music tattoo, a specific song.
My music tattoo on my chest is All Shook Up, Elvis Presley. And then the saying is a James Dean saying that runs across the top that says, "Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today." That is my motto for having MS, because I know that I need to live every moment in the there and now. I'm not worried about the future. I'm not worried about the past. I know what's going to happen to me, you know? So I just live my life. I do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it. That's the whole thing. Tomorrow I gotta go. What is tomorrow? I dropped my quilts off. I got a mail opening.
Yeah, what time is that? Do we know?
I have no idea when I will do a mail opening. In the morning. It's always in the morning when I do mail openings. And then Sunday will be a de-stash next Sunday, and then Thursday is breakfast at Tiffany's, where we will finish the chicken coop quilt, because I started filming another video, never got that done. It's literally on that side of the room, and the chicken quilt, breakfast at Tiffany's, is on this side of the room. And every other mess is on that side of the room behind the camera that you can't see. So I think that's it. I think I have covered everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here and let y'all do whatever y'all do when I'm not around. Hopefully so. What?
You're talking about Thursday's thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Now, is that upside down?
It can go either way.
It
It doesn't matter. The butterflies are going in all different directions around it. So it looks like the flower's coming down, and if I flip it, it looks like the flower's going up. I'm not going to put a sleeve or anything on this, because whoever gets it will probably not even want it as a wall hanging. They'll use it for something else. I don't know. Bigger ones like this, I don't, because people want to use it for other things. And this will obviously go into the for sale pile. So once I quilt it up, I think it looks so awesome. I didn't want a heavy taper either. I think it's like perfect, just like that. Anyway, now am I done? Oh, there's no specific time tomorrow. It's whenever I'm up. Today I slept until almost 9. So, yeah, I get up when I get up. I was pooped, though, from going to a wedding yesterday.
You had fun, though?
I had fun, though, yes.
We didn't get to dance, but we planned on it.
We planned on dancing, but we didn't get to. Apparently,
It's
so sad. I told Scott that, it was a Mexican wedding. So you guys know the mariachi bands and big bands, loud music, loud everything. Lots and lots of people. So the band, the whole family walks in and they got a marching band type band, but not teenage marching band, adults, you know. And I noticed that the tuba player really looked like he was like, I don't know, he looked weird. Something was off. And it, you know, so I'm watching, and they're coming in and they're doing their thing. And they finally stand still in one spot while the rest of the family is doing their dance on the floor. And I'm looking at this tuba player, and I told Scott, I was like, do you see him? He looks like something's wrong with him. He needs to be seen, you know? Not even 20 minutes after that happened, and they were all up on the stage, and they were playing their first song, he had a stroke on stage during the wedding. Yeah, it was very sad, but I saw it. I wish I would have just got up and said, hey, dude, maybe you shouldn't play for the next, however long, because you look like you need to be sitting down. Yeah, it was very sad. So that's what happened while we were at the wedding yesterday. Anyway, that's it. That's all.
Everything else was fun.
Everything else was fun, yes, and the food was great, and we had lots of fun. Lots of good people to hang out and chit chat with. All of our neighbors, so it was great. It was a great wedding. All right. Any more questions?
Turn it around so they can see it the other way.
Before we go, we'll turn it around one more time. The other way.
Tell them if they buy it, they can hang it whichever way they
Yeah, if you buy it, you can hang it however way you want to. Once I quilt it and it's yours, you can do whatever you wish with it. There we go. And I'll probably bind it with this green because I have more of it. I think it'll finish it off perfectly. Yep. So it can go either way. It doesn't really matter. Is that it? Any more?
I think that's it.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you when I see you tomorrow sometime. So in the morning. Bye, everybody.